Welcome back to this 001 Game Creator video tutorial series, where we'll be continuing to cover how to create online multiplayer games using the MMORPG DLC Kit as a base. In this final tutorial, we'll be looking into how to create console commands and building your game. One of the most useful features of this template is the console, which is accessible from the server window that pops up alongside your client window during testing. By typing help and pressing enter, you'll see a list of all supported commands within the project. To see a full description of what each of these commands does, see the fourth column of the commands table. To create a new command, click on the Variable Switches Collections and Tables button along the main toolbar, followed by the Edit Tables button, and then click on the Edits button besides Commands. Each command has a required permission level to determine who is able to use it. For example, a moderator may have the ability to kick or ban players, but an administrator may have the ability to move the game camera or force focus on a specific actor. Permission values are stored in the sixth column of the commands table and range from 0 to 10. The lower the number is, the greater access the user has. For the record, a player is 10, a moderator is 2, and an administrator is 1. Click on the Change Size button and increase the Y value by 1 to add a new row to the table. The command we're going to create will add an item and a certain amount of money to a specified player. In the first cell of the table, type the name of the command itself. I've named mine Item Money. The second cell is the help syntax, which means what should appear when someone types help followed by this command in the console. For this, type item money, item amount, money, client ID. The first part is our command name, followed by the item we want to specify, the amount of said item, the amount of money, and then finally the client ID. For the third cell, you specify any parameters. Our command will use 4 parameters, with 3 different types: item, number, client. The fourth cell is the description of your command, so we'll write, add an item and a certain amount of money to a player. The fifth cell is the command script. This is the tricky part, so to make things easier, close the table, ensuring you save your changes, and then open the script editor from anywhere appropriate. The quickest way to do this is to create a zone on a map, and then simply double-click any one of the triggers. Once inside the script editor, create an add remove item custom event, and for the client ID, put a 4 inside double quotes and curly brackets. The curly brackets are located on the same keys as the square brackets. Simply hold the Shift key while pressing the square bracket keys to type a curly bracket instead. Then do the same for item and quantity, only setting them to 1 and 2 respectively. To change the item button to a text box, click on the small use value button and double-click value from the top of the list. Remember our specified parameters that we created in the commands table, the item amount money client ID part. Since our client ID is the fourth parameter, we type 4 in the client ID text box. Likewise, our item is the first parameter, so we type 1 for the item text box, and the amount is the second parameter, so we type 2 for the quantity text box. Now create an add money custom event, and like before, set the client ID to a 4 inside double quotes and curly brackets, and do the same for the amount, only setting the number to 3 instead. With our command scripted, we now need to put this back into the commands table. To do this, click on Mode from the script editor's menu, and then select Textual, followed by Continue. This will convert the graphical script into text. Place the cursor at the end of the first line, and then press the delete key on your keyboard to remove the line break. Then add a vertical pipe, followed by a space, and another vertical pipe to separate the two. The vertical pipe is located on the same key as the backward slash. Simply hold the Shift key while pressing the backward slash key to type a vertical pipe instead. Each line break will require this in order to separate the events properly. Now click and drag and select the entire line and press Ctrl+C on your keyboard to copy the text to the clipboard. Next, open the commands table and paste the text code into the 5th cell of your command. Finally, in the 6th cell, set the required permission level to execute this command. For testing purposes, I've set the permission level to 10 so that players can use it. To try out this command, test your game, log in, and then inside the server window, type item money, potion, 1, 250, test, with test being whatever your player's username is. Then press enter and return to the game window to see that 1 potion and $250 has been added to your player character. It's time to finally build our MMORPG and share it with the world. Online games have a slightly different build process to regular games. You'll first need to build your game for your players, the client machines, and then build your game as a dedicated server that the game will run on. Without the dedicated server, your game won't be functional. To build your game for your players, simply click on the Build Game button along the main toolbar and then select Windows Installer followed by Build. Once your client build has finished, choose a different output directory and check the Dedicated Online Multiplayer Server checkbox. Then build your game again. To start your server, simply run the executable file. Once your server is up and running, clients will be able to start connecting to it. This concludes our series on creating online multiplayer games using the MMORPG DLC Kit as a base. If you enjoyed this series and would like to see more video tutorials in the future, then please let us know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.